Hi there. Today we're going to dig into how to read a job posting to make your application as powerful as possible. Let's start off with some basic stuff you'll see in a job posting. Most of the time, a posting will start with a statement about the company and how they define themselves. It's tempting to skip that stuff and go straight to qualifications, but don't. It's smart to read what the company says about who they are because it matters. You can learn a lot about whether they are traditional or laid back by the kind of language they use. Does the language resonate with you or does it push you away? We're all different, so there's no one right or wrong language, but I'm suggesting that you ask yourself, can I see myself working there? Next, you'll usually see a narrative about the department where the job sits and what they do. Again, don't skip this part. Sometimes there's a lot of jargon or words that don't mean anything to you. This company speak is often unique to the organization and they don't even realize how off-putting it can be. See if you can make sense of it, and if all else fails, use Google for acronyms and words that aren't familiar to you. Most importantly, don't let unfamiliar terms in any part of the job postings scare you away. The job responsibilities generally come next, followed by the qualifications. And here I want you to be wary of ruling yourself out prematurely. There is a gender difference with this. Men tend to think they are qualified for the job if they meet 65% of the requirements and can do at least half the work listed. For women, we look for something closer to 95%. Neither is right. In general, you want to aim for around 75%. More than that is really overqualified because as a hiring manager, I want to know you have something to learn here so I won't lose you when you get bored. And under 75% is just wasting my time and yours. You'll want to read this part of the job posting that talks about responsibilities several times and take careful notes of words that you see over and over again. I recommend printing out the posting and highlighting the words you think are most relevant. These become your key words. It is critical that these words are in your resume exactly as they are in the job posting. If the posting says customer support and your resume says customer service, change it to customer support. If you see words like digital media several times in the posting, that's a clue that it's a big part of the job. And you should include digital media experience exactly as it's referenced in the posting. Does this take extra time? Yes, it does. But adapting your resume to every job posting is the key to getting past applicant tracking systems. Once you've done that, the singular most important thing you can do to get your application in front of a hiring manager is to reach out to the people you've contacted within that organization. Share your resume and let them know you've applied. I can't tell you what a big difference this has made for everyone I work with. I'll share a story with you about a client who followed this approach. He had applied for a job that was really a pivot for him in a company where he didn't know anybody. But the job looked like a good fit, so he put his application in, and then he reached out to an alum from his university and said, hey, would you be willing to talk to me about the company and how do you like working there? The guy agreed. They had a nice chat. My client sent over his resume, let him know that he had already applied. And by the next morning, he had an invitation for the first interview. Now, that interview was scheduled for later in the week, and strangely, he got an automated rejection later that afternoon. Same day the interview, they'd reached out to him to schedule the interview. So he called HR and he said, I'm a little confused because you just scheduled an interview with me, but I got this rejection note. And the person he spoke to was very nice and she said, oh, Yes, well, that's automatic because right now we're receiving so many applications that we've decided to give preference to people who are referred from internal employees. Now, he got through the second round of those interviews and was ultimately not selected. But we are both certain that if he hadn't reached out to that inside connection, introduced himself, and made a good impression on that guy, he never would have gotten the interview in the first place. Tomorrow is our last day together, and I'm excited to share with you some final tips and advice, along with some suggestions if you need additional support. Bye for now.